Hello, today I'm working on my Milwaukee 56 16-20 router with the serial number of A19A to start with. I noticed that there was a little bit of slop in this bottom bearing, and so I'm going to replace it. I got on one of the many parts websites that are out there. It was ereplacementparts.com. and looked up my model number and found the bearing number and ordered that up. And grab that over here. So the bearing number that we're going to be putting on here is a Milwaukee ball bearing. There. And we'll pull this out of the package. One feels a lot better than the other one that's in there right now. So we'll set that down and we'll get started here. Now the tools that you're going to need. This is a 3/8 inch Allen wrench. This is the 1 1/8" spanner wrench that came for taking bits in and out. And we're going to turn this up on end like this, and we need to take the collet out of here first. And then this took me a little while to get this part off, but you put your 3/8 inch Allen wrench in there and then have something to hold it. Nice little end wrench, works well. And that'll hold the shaft of the motor while I take the base of the collet holder off. And this is a normal right hand thread, and I already loosened that. You may have a much harder time getting that loose. I spent some time cleaning out the threads before I did that. You may have to use some penetrant oil. So you can either rotate the collar or you can rotate the shaft inside or the other there. And then once you get it out so far, it's just finger tight. You can see it coming off there. So like I said, if you have had this thing for a while and have never taken that piece off, it could be bound on there pretty good. Just know that it is a normal right hand thread. You can do that. Now you're going to have a T25, Torx 25, to take these two pieces out here. You could also go with a like 1/4 inch straight screwdriver, because Milwaukee in their wisdom also put a nice slot in the top of that screw. Got this little fan diffuser ring that comes off the bottom. And now comes the part that's not as easy, and that's getting the bearing to come out of there. So the motor is going to slide down a little bit, but in order to get the bearing out of there, you have to shake and shimmy this thing and get it to loosen up on the shaft there. See if we can, there we go. Just kind of work that shaft in and out a little bit. Okay, so there's the old bearing. And it just has a little bit of noise to it now. The new bearing is nice and grease filled and ready to go. So we'll slide that one on. Has a really nice feel to it. Good. Now we're ready to put it back together. Start with putting the fan diffuser in place. We'll take our screws and get the right thread started on, so we're not cross threading. And again, get that started on, and we'll just take these down to a nice snug A little bit tight setting. Okay. Okay, that rotates really nicely. And something, this shaft can sit down and you'll hear it kind of catching a little bit there, but when you pull it out it doesn't catch it all. Well, that's one of the functions of your collet piece here, or your shaft nut. When you put it on there, it will actually hold that shaft up a little bit. So just a reverse process. We're going to put our 3/8 inch Allen wrench down in here, and we'll just rotate this right on down in. It's getting a little snug, and we'll tighten it up with our spanner that Milwaukee provides with the router, or an 1 and 1/8 inch would be just fine. Those are done up real nice. Now it spins nice and freely. Go ahead and put our collet back on here. And a little finger tightness. And we're going to fire it up here for you. Okay, so down on the number 1 setting, so it's as slow as possible to fire it up for the first time. That feels smoother than it did before, and once I get out and cutting with it, I'll definitely know a difference. Well, thanks for watching. This was the bottom main bearing replacement on a Milwaukee 5615-20 with the serial number starting with A19A.